Hi guys, Stop Cold here. Colorado Regionals were yesterday and I took out my Mermails. They fared okay-ish. I wish they'd fared just a little better like they do at locals, but I ended up taking 30th place. I got my invite. I was extremely excited about it. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. Start with the monsters. We'll start with level 7s. 2 Megalos. I enjoy having 2 Megalos just because if you do something to one of my 2400 beaters, then I have another one to pull out with a Lindy. Plus, he's also a side out option if I absolutely need it. Triple Teus. Teus is a main combo starter in the deck, and you almost always want to see him. And then the last level 7, Tidal. You're playing Mermails, you better be playing Tidal, especially if you're playing the level 7s. The one level 5 is Dragon Ice, one of the MVPs of the day just because he was helping me shut down special summons, and being a 22 wall is actually hard for some things to get around. The level 4s, Triple Abyss Pike, also the main combo starter of the deck, and he helps you really search out your combo pieces that you need. Then 2 Abyss Surge to recycle any of the level 3 or lowers like your Atlanteans, your Lindies, your Gundies, then 1 Dragoons. Just because there is actually, I like having Dragoons just because I can Undying search with him for any of the Atlanteans that I want. The level 3s, the one tech choice was Fishborg Archer. I really didn't go into him that often. He might come out. But he is nice just because if I have a clear board and like the next card, Abyss Gundy, is in hand, then this is an instant rank 7 or instant level 7 for me to go into. It didn't ever happen up there, but it's whatever. The only other level 3 Mermail in the deck is Abyss Lind. You should, if you know what Mermails do, you know what Abyss Lindy does. Then we have 2 Gen X Undines, and to go with the Undines, 2 controllers. Undyne was one of the MVPs just because he could send the Tidal, he could send the Dragoons to search. So he fared out really well. I really enjoyed actually putting Undyne back in. The Atlanteans, Triple Marksman, I enjoy popping everything that I can. And then Triple Heavy Infantry just because him and Dragon Ice together is just such a pain combo for people. If they know you have this in their hand and Dragon Ice is in the grave, they fear special summoning. I had so many opponents who wouldn't special just because I had this combo set up. And then 2 Maxis for my last level 2s. On to the spell lineup. We have Gold Sark. This is really nice starting turn because you can Gold Sark Tidal, and then Tidal will get the Dragon Ice to your hand. Foolish Burial lets you either dump the Dragon Ice, dump the Tidal, dump a Fishborg if you absolutely need to. Allure of Darkness for the controller, and then we have Dark Hole. I actually like having Dark Hole because with Soul Charge going around, if they don't make things that are immortal, Dark Hole their field after they've Soul Charge and they get wrecked pretty hard for it. Then 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, more back row hate. I enjoy getting rid of it before it's a problem. And then 2 Salvage to recycle Heavy Infantries, the Marksmans, the Lindies, the Gundies, any of the low level or the low attack point water monsters. Onto the traps. There aren't very many. Triple Abyss Sphere.
That one Ultra.
Yeah, I have one Ultra. Abyss Sphere was, I wish I had seen it more often. Seeing it a little more often would have saved me in some games, but it happens that I couldn't search it or I wouldn't draw it. And then the last 3 traps, Torrential, Compulse, and Bottomless. These guys can help save you in games, especially with Bottomless and Compulse. Torrential is really nice if they do like a big push and you're just sitting on a Lin, you can just Torrential them. On to the extra deck. We have 2 Leo Keeper. He's really nice because 101 cannot steal this guy, ever. Because he can only be targeted in your main phase 2. So Leo is a big answer to some decks. 1 Beazle because we have the controller Dragon Ice combo. And then we also have Stardust because in case he seems more viable than the Beazle. Then the last synchro is Gungnir. I made Gungar actually more than I think I made any other synchro in this whole tourney, just because I either would keep having a Pike on the field with a controller in hand. I was like, summon, let's get a Gungar so we can start getting rid of some stuff. For the rank 7s, 1 Abyssgos, 1 Dragosek, and 1 Big Eye. These are, I don't think I need any more than these guys. Maybe Master Blade should come back in just because of the hands and the artifacts coming around.
But they'll just Molotark him.
Yeah, with Molotark not targeting, that kind of ruins Master Blade's plan. The rank 4s, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 number 101 Silent Monarch, 1 Abyss Dweller, and Diamond Dire. Bahamut Shark is here for the rank 3 plays, plus he is a 26 beat stick, 101 to steal special summons, Abyss Dweller for mirror match, Diamond Dire for Macrocosmos or D-Fissure. That's the whole reason he's in it. Then number 47 Nightmare Shark, Tri-Edge Levia, and Acid-Golem are the rank 3s. Tri-Edge Levia is here for hands, mostly because neither of the hands are tougher than him, and if he can attack them, they're banished and they get nothing for all their work. 47 is in because he can steal games with his ability to put a level 3 water underneath him when he is special summoned. And so you can just go Bahamut Shark, detach. Number 47, put any level 3 under. Detach, target 47, and you get a jump and hit him for 2 grand, which at points can be game stealing. Acid Golem is in here because of a side deck card. Let's go on to side deck. 2 skill drain. This really hurt a lot of decks at this point in time, just because with this deck being able to make 3,100 beat sticks, 3 grand beat sticks, they have a hard time getting over some of them. This actually won me a couple games. My next one that I purposely did for hand and artifacts was Oofish. With Tidal being in the deck and stuff like Macro actually going on, this can actually be a brilliant side deck card, just because you wait for an Ice Hand or a Fire Hand to attack into you. If you have a banished Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua, the instant their effect activates in the grave, you can fish. You get to refill your deck and stop their combo right there. This won me a game. Hands down, it won me a game.
And then you did it on Crimson Blader too.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Then Black Horn of Heaven, just to stop those inherent XZ summons or Synchro summons. DD Crow, this was more for the artifact matchups as well, hoping to, if they didn't Sanctum, then I could DD Crow it out of the grave before it was a problem. It didn't happen very often, unfortunately. Lightmare, Boojins. Then we have 1 Needle Sealing. I don't think I ever sided this in, but it might have come in handy. Transmigration and Prophecy. It would have been nice, but I never saw it. The 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon. And then the one that is going to probably be coming out, Abysscorn. This would have been nice, but the only time I could have ever gotten the combo off, I was under D-Fissure, so I couldn't use its secondary effect. What Abysscorn does is, if your opponent destroys this while it's set, you get to send one of their cards to the one of their monsters to the grave. So if they have a nice hand and they attack into you, and this is your only set card, it goes to the grave, Fire Hand summons, then Abysscorn activates, and you send their Fire Hand, and you stop their combo right there. Plus, it is also a nice 1,000 attack points to any Mermail. On to the matchups. Round 1 was Boojins. Game 1, I just got rid of his resources so fast and he couldn't keep up. So I won that one. In Game 2, he had me under Kaiser Coliseum and Royal Decree multiple times, and I couldn't get out of it. Unfortunately, time was called in Game 2. So he won Game 2, and that forced me into a first-round draw, which I was not overly excited about because I knew that was going to hurt. Round 2 was Madolche's. Game 1, Dragon Ice and Heavy Infantry just put in work, getting rid of his special summons. Game 2, Tiara Misu OTK'd me. It happens. And then Game 3, I had Blackhorn and Skill Drain, and he Hoot Cake beat me to death. I couldn't draw a monster over 1,500. I just got Hookake beat to death, and that was all there was to it. Round 3 was Blackwings. Game 1, I won due to Leo being 31, and then Dragon Ice being around to get rid of some of his special summons. Game 2, Kalute for days. He had 3 Kalutes. He started with 2, and he searched the third, and I was like, okay, Megalo attack, Kalute, okay, that's 1. Flip Sphere, Megalo attack, another Kalute, and then it's like I tried again next turn, and it was a 3rd Kalute. I was like, oh my god, Kalute for days.
They always have the Kalute.
Yeah, always. Game 3, I won due to him misplaying badly, because all I had was a face-up defense position Lindy. He had just a Shura on the field. He summons Blizzard, grabs another Shura, and makes Abyss Dweller out of the 2 Shuras. Attacks with Blizzard. And I was like, waiting? I picked up Lindy, put her in the grave, and said, effect, and now he chained Abyss Dweller. I was like, it's too late, I'm already active.
Even though he couldn't even activate at that point.
Yeah, he couldn't have really activated, because by the time Lindy's activating, it's damage step. So that really cost him, because that let me get a Megalo out, and at this point we're in time, and I only have to deal 600 damage. So I just drew, summoned a controller, and made Leo Keeper, and swung over the Abyss Dweller to make sure it was over, because he had no backfield. Round 4 was against Dragon Ruler Hands. Game 1, he wasted his resources really, really fast. I mean, first turn he went into a title banishing Redox and an Ice Hand, so I knew I had a fair hands as well to make a title and a Felgrand, and I was like, okay. And I just was able to keep making Felgrand get rid of his materials before he could really stop me. And then game 2, this is where Fish really came into play. I had 1 waiting, and I went Titles Effect, banished a Dragoons, and I think it was a Lind, and he DD crowed my title off, and I was like, that's fine. Because I was like, I knew he probably had a hand set, so I had my Abyss Pike attack, his face down, turned out to be Ice Hand. He went for my Fish. I was like, Fish, Dragoons back into the deck. So I got to refuel my deck and stop his whole combo right there. Later in the game, I ended up drawing another one, and because Title still had banished one of my other ones, it was really nice because he went into Tempest into a Flambeau Guard to make a Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader attacked into my face-up attack position Abyssland. When Crimson Blader activated, I fished his Crimson Blader, and he scooped from there because he was out of resources. So I really enjoyed having this card just for that matchup. It works really well when you get the setup fast enough. Round 5 was against Heraldic Beast. This is a deck I was not overly prepared for. Game 1, he couldn't get his plays off because of Marksman disrupting his back row and Dragon Ice and Heavy Infantry doing what they do, popping all his special summons. Game 2, he made 1/101 and stole my monsters twice with it thanks to the Heraldic Beast Eagle that lets him put 2 materials back underneath. So that really hurt. And then he Exciting popped me later on for game. Game 3, I eventually was just sitting on a title. I had a skill drain face down. He went into Exciting Knight, called the effect. I flipped the skill drain, and from there it was pretty much downhill because he was relying so heavily on his effects that he couldn't get out of the skill drain. Round 6, I finally fight Artifact Hands. Game 1, once I knew it was artifacts, I just summoned a Marksman and I swung. I pulled Dragoons out and swung, and those 2 just sat there. I did not attempt to pop anything. I did not want effects going off. I just swung. Game 2, Moralitech. He just shut me down. I couldn't get out of it. Then game 3, Fish. came back into play, and so did DD Crow. These two were what actually helped me win this game, and then I ended up actually using Gen X controller to beat him down.
Gen X beat down.
Yeah, I was the controller beat down for this game. Then round 7 was Hat. And once I knew it was Hat, and I had a controller, I just kept swinging with the controller. So I won game 1 due to just beating him down without doing anything. Game 2, I lost due to Sanctum. Artifact Sanctum is just such a pain because I couldn't get any plays off because he had 3 Sanctums just waiting.
Totally just disrupts all the plays.
Yeah, it was just terrible. Game 3, this was my only terrible hand all day, and he started with multiple Sanctums again. It's like, I think I had like a DD Crow and a Salvage with a Megalo and no other water monsters. It was like, oh my god, I could not have asked for my deck to have started any worse. And it's like, for a while he was just sitting there beating me with Molitark and Traptrix Mermail. And it's like, I kept drawing a monster, but I couldn't get to them. I couldn't get another 2 water monsters that were low attack points fast enough to bring a Megalo out. Not that it mattered. He had such a huge resource at that point, I was in trouble. Last round was Girgia's. First game was really hard just because I actually went through all 3 of my rank 7s. But it's like, I went into Abyssgaus first, he killed it off. Then I made Dragosack. Dragosack sat there for like a turn before it got 101. And then Big Eye came out and stole Gear Giant X for pretty much giving me the game at that point. Then game 2, I had a Blackhorn and I was just waiting for him. Because he only made 1 Gear Giant all turn. And it's like he beat me for a while with just Accelerator. So he beat me with Accelerator and then he finally flipped an armor after setting it. And it's like, okay, now I know that all that. Then he finally went for the push and I Blackhorned that 1 Gear Giant. And after that, it's like I just took control because he didn't have enough resources left to him to pull back out with Leo Keeper on the field. So overall, the deck took 30th place. I ended up being 4-2-1. No, 5-2-1. 5-2-1 is what my overall record ended up being. So I was really happy with how it performed. I wish I really got to figure out how I want to side for hats other than Ulfish. Ulfish is definitely staying just because it's earned its spot after this regional for now at least. So this is Stop 'Em Cold signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.